If you only have small food plots to work with, you have to make every square inch count. Today, I'm gonna walk you through what I plant, why I plant it, how I plant it, so that way this food plot is packed full of food from early season all the way through the winter. Before we jump in the last video where we created this food plot, I asked you guys to help me name it. So looking through all the comments, there was a lot of great suggestions, but I'm gonna call this Antler Alley. So Sean Nicholson, I need you to email me your address and I will mail you out a swag package. Thank you guys all for your insight. So just a short few weeks ago, this was all trees. And with a lot of sweat and a chainsaw, I've created about 1/10 of an acre opening, what I'm hoping is gonna be a really productive food plot. I've already done a soil sample and added the recommended amount of lime, and we finally have some rain in the forecast, so it's time to get seed on the ground. So what I'm gonna be planting as my base for this food plot is Ravish Radish and Tall Time tubers from Whitetail Institute. I love planting brassicas as my base. I think inch for inch, they provide the most food for the deer. You get that giant leafy green up top and then a big bulb down below that they'll be digging through well into the winter. I also like them because they're tiny little seeds that you can just broadcast right onto the ground. You don't need any special equipment, so it's perfect for DIY guys like myself. Right after we plant these brassicas, we're gonna come in with Whitetail Institute Fusion, and we're gonna plant clover in this food plot as well. Clover is really browse resistant, and in a good blend, usually there's one type of clover that's gonna thrive no matter what conditions that you might have. The best thing about clover is it's gonna come back in the spring, so you're never completely emptying the table. There's always gonna be something green for these deer to eat. Clover is also a great soil builder between that and then the brassicas that are really gonna help break up compaction, and especially in a new plot like this. Paired with the third thing we'll talk about, should give us a really nice food plot with a absolute crap ton of food. So the secret step to all of this is I generally come in 2 to 3 weeks after my initial planting and overseed everything with cereal rye. And cereal rye is really cold hardy, frost does not kill it, and it's just gonna fill in all the gaps where I might have had some germination failures or my seed rate was a little bit off, and it's gonna maximize every little pocket that I could possibly have something growing for these deer. It's also great for improving your soil, and it's gonna start growing anytime it warms up a little bit in the winter. This year, instead of cereal rye, I'm gonna come in with Whitetail Institute Oats Plus, and I'll broadcast that in about 3 weeks here, and it's supposed to be a cold hardy oat that the deer absolutely love, and I'm really excited to try it out. Oats generally don't come back in the spring, so what I'll be left with is just a lush clover plot with nothing else competing against it. And if I want to keep it as clover, all I have to do is maintain it then. I don't have to come back and try to kill all the cereal rye that I'd planted in the fall before. So I'm excited to try out this combination of things, and I think the deer are gonna absolutely hammer it. Seed rate for the brassicas is super important. Most people plant way too much and they choke each other out and they never get to their full potential. They don't get that big leafy green and then the big bulb. So I have a kitchen scale. I've measured this food plot on Onyx already, and I'm gonna actually measure the exact amount of seed that I need. No guessing, so that way I don't accidentally put way too much seed down, which is really easy with how small these seeds are. So I've got my brassicas and I'm gonna get these planted. And what I'm gonna do is just put out a little bit of seed at a time until I cover the whole thing. I can always go back and do more, but what you don't wanna do is put all these little seeds down in your first couple passes, then you're out of seed. It's way too heavy and you're kind of screwed. We'll get into it too, but we're gonna add fertilizer. We're gonna spray these plots when we're done. But the reason I like to put the seed down first is that way as we're trampling on everything, we're pushing that seed into the ground best we can. So that way it just gets that much better seed to soil contact. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this spreading. We got our brassicas down. Now it's time for the clover. And I do those separately to make sure that I'm getting those brassicas down as evenly as possible, and I'm not mixing them in with the clover and skewing my results. And again, I'll probably overdo it on the clover, and at that point I'm just wasting a little bit of money, but I wanna make sure that I have something germinating in all available areas of this food plot. So you can see these seeds are tiny, just like the brassicas. You can just broadcast these right on the ground, and a good heavy rain is gonna drive that in enough to get good seed to soil contact. So let's get spreading. Seed is all done. Next step is to put down our fertilizer. And again, I did do a soil test, and I'm actually gonna use my bag spreader for this. These Earthway bag spreaders are complete trash, but I got this hack from Bill Winke, You take like a plastic pot, cut the bottom out, put it in the bag, and then it stays open and you're not spilling seed every time you're trying to dump something in there. All right, the seed is down, the fertilizer is down. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna spray this whole thing with two things. I got glyphosate mixed with Whitetail Institute Impact. Impact is a liquid soil amendment, helps the plants uptake nutrients faster. That lime that I put down a couple weeks ago is gonna take a long time to activate and really have an impact. So the Impact is gonna hopefully improve the soil faster, so these new plants are gonna have a lot more nutrients available to them in a shorter amount of time. I got those mixed together, so let's go ahead and get this thing sprayed. That's my formula for Antler Alley. Brassicas for volume and for winter food, clover for resilience and spring carryover, and oats or rye to fill in all of the gaps. In small food plots, every inch matters, and this method has been a game changer for me. I'll keep you posted on how this turned out, so make sure you subscribe and follow along.